House Republicans are now urging the Department of Justice to investigate Michael Cohen for committing a felony. Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former lawyer and fixer, is a convicted liar. That is, if you asked House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan and Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. The two are again pushing the DOJ to investigate Cohen for possibly lying to Congress. Now, perjury is considered a felony in most U.S. states. However, you haven't seen many prosecutions because of it. Some Republicans feel as if it's now time to change that norm. And that's what Jim Jordan and James Comer are banking on at the moment, because they already told the DOJ that Cohen is a liar. In fact, even Cohen himself has admitted to lying in court. And this is why it's tough to have him as a star witness in Donald Trump's hush money trial, because it only takes one of the jurors to make the case fall apart. Just one juror who won't believe in what Cohen is selling them. And it's clear that Donald Trump's team is following Michael Cohen very closely, as he could make or break this case. Legal experts are already saying that having Cohen on this trial is detrimental for the prosecution.
And look, reasonable doubt, the standard American law, is the highest burden of proof imposed under American law. This is an exceedingly high standard for the prosecutors to prove. I think it's also interesting that so much of the prosecution's case is going to turn on what Michael Cohen has to say. And what we heard today from the Trump defense team, Liz, was that they are going to be going after Michael Cohen with double barrels. They went after him hard today. They said he was a liar, someone who couldn't be trusted. And so they really did their best to cut at the heart of what I think is going to be the prosecution's case for the next month or two.
So, yeah, I mean, the Trump defense noting that Cohen is a perjurer, that Cohen himself admitted he has lied under oath more than once in a federal court, and he's accused of making material false statements to prosecutors in the FBI.
Now, it seems as if Cohen has a bad habit of lying under oath. And you guys know what they say about bad habits, right? Which is why analysts are saying that while Cohen may be the prosecution's star witness, he could also pose as their biggest liability. So Jordan and Comer, they both wrote to the DOJ regarding the lies that he has made. They say that Cohen has lied to Congress a total of 6 times back in 2019. In a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland, they said that Cohen's testimony may warrant another charge. And this is just them following up from last year. Republicans on the Judiciary Committee have asked the DOJ to investigate Cohen back in the same year, 2019. However, the feds declined to take up the referral at the time. Here's what they believe that he lied about. It includes his claim that he hadn't tried to get a job in former President Donald Trump's administration, his existence that he hadn't called for the creation of a social media account called Women for Cohen, denying that he had any business with a foreign government that he was required to report, and lying about having committed fraudulent acts that he later pleaded guilty to, and by claiming that he had blind loyalty to the then president.
We are coming on the air this morning with some breaking news. President Trump's former longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen, admitting he made false statements to Congress about the Russia investigation. Cohen pleading guilty just moments ago during a surprise appearance in federal court here in New York. NBC's Tom Winter was inside that courtroom. He joins me now on the phone. Tom, what more can you tell us?
Craig, I just left where Michael Cohen, dressed in a Navy suit and a white shirt, allocated and pled guilty to a single count, as you said, of making a false statement to the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Those false statements regarded the Moscow project. I believe that is the project that involves a possible hotel to be built in Moscow. Michael Cohen told the court that he made false statements about that project, the timing of the project, including statements about possible travel there, although he told the court he did not travel to Moscow. He also said that he made false statements regarding discussions with people in the Trump organization and people in Russia about the project. Craig, in the allocution, Michael Cohen specifically named the president, who will be identified in court papers that we should see momentarily as individual one. He says individual one is Donald J. Trump. He said that his false statements had to do with Russian contacts and with this project. He said that there had been statements made that discussions for the Moscow project ended prior to the Iowa caucuses. He said that is not correct. The discussions for the Moscow project continued into 2017. He additionally said that he took steps to discuss travel to Russia with the president.
And so this is why some claim that DA Alvin Bragg is a little bit nervous right now, because Cohen has been running his mouth on social media and has been attacking Donald Trump at every turn. I know you guys are aware that Donald Trump has been given a gag order, so he can't really fire back at Michael Cohen as much as he would like to. Jim Jordan and Comer, they both agree that Bragg's case heavily relies on Cohen's testimony and credibility. The problem is that a lot of critics are saying that he has no credibility at all. He has absolutely nothing to stand on, and again, they've proven him to be a liar. Now, it's not just Jim Jordan and James Comer who are asking for the DOJ to do something about this. House Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik and House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner, they called on the DOJ to investigate the matter last year. And since they're not getting much of a response, they decided to recently renew that request. Cohen, on the other hand, has not been doing a good job of maintaining a good image. Experts agree that he's a nightmare for the prosecution as he's been running wild on social media. They stopped him from doing his TikTok lives where he was making a lot of money off of Trump's case. There was even one instance where a viewer commented Trump 2024, to which he responded by saying more like Trump 20 to 24 years. He also takes jabs at the former president through X. In a post that's surprisingly still up, Michael Cohen called Donald Trump as Von Schitzenpants, claiming that his attacks stink of desperation, which again creates more troubles for DA Alvin Bragg. Lance Fletcher, a former Manhattan prosecutor, says that Cohen is doing everything as a prosecutor you don't want your witnesses to do. He adds that Cohen's got all sorts of credibility problems. And this is pretty much what has been happening with Trump and his legal cases. Because here's something else that came to light. You remember how Judge Scott McAfee donated to DA Fani Willis's campaign? Well, the prosecutor from DA Alvin Bragg's office that's questioning Stormy Daniels in this trial did something very similar. Prosecutor Susan Hoffinger, she's been reported to having had donated to the 2020 presidential campaign of none other than Joe Biden. Not only that, but she also donated to other Democratic politicians and organizations over the years. Now, this is truly unbelievable, guys. One of Bragg's prosecutors is a clear Biden supporter. And it's not like she gave like $20 or something like that. Records from the Federal Elections Commissions show that she donated $500 to President Biden's campaign back in 2020. She was also recorded in donating to Act Blue during the 2020 cycle, giving them $900. Now, besides this, she also gave money to a number of other Democratic congressional campaigns in 2020 and 2018, which brings me back to Representative Elise Stefanik, who says that this is way too obvious. She says that this is a Joe Biden witch hunt, even going so far as to call it election interference from the Biden administration itself. And much like how Nathan Wade and Fani Willis were connected to the White House in their case, Hoffinger is seen as a Biden supporter. And the same could be said for Judge Juan Merchan. Were you guys aware that the very judge in this case against Donald Trump donated to Biden's 2020 presidential campaign? Which begs the question, is this going to be a fair trial? Because Trump is surrounded by people who support his political rival, and it's why the odds are stacked so heavily against him. However, many people say that this is the reason as to why more Americans will wake up. This clear bias that's being shown will prove to the nation that Trump is telling the truth about these legal issues. But what about you guys? How do you feel about former President Donald Trump and his many different cases right now? Now, as always, I'm going to be here to inform you guys of what's happening because these trials will definitely shape the 2024 presidential elections. Now, before I go, I want to thank you guys for your time. Keep safe, and I'll see you on the next one.